Well, this little black bear, he's still hanging around the ridge. And the fawn, they're doing awful well. And old Mr. Bobcat showed up this week. Ain't he beautiful? Welcome, friends. Welcome to the foothills of the Smoky. Another chapter of As the Ridge Turns here in East Tennessee. Now, man, it's been hot. I hope y'all staying cool out there. It's been 100 degrees in the shade here almost. And this humidity, it feels way over 100. I hope y'all staying cool. I don't know how these little animals are standing it, but they're moving around awful well. Moving around real good. Well, I hope you're doing good out there, taking care of yourself and staying hydrated. Now here the old pond, the swamp, it's just about dried up, just a weed patch. But boy, it's loaded with blackberries back there in the back end of it, and the animals has been wearing them out. Well guys, let's see what stepped in front of the cameras this week. The deer, they just moseying around, taking their time in this heat. And a little fawn still following their mommy around. But it's so hot. But the little triplets, they're doing awful well. They're all over this ridge, having a good time, wherever mommy leads them. And you just liable to see them anywhere. Just browsing this ridge. She just showing them the ropes. And they're growing fast. Ain't they beautiful? And they'll just mosey right on up to the camera too. Curious. Exploring their new world. And they just browse the woods wherever mom happens to lead them. But you liable to see them anywhere. They singles, twins, triplets, and they seem to be doing awful well. Growing like weeds, ain't they? To be only a few weeks old. And they're everywhere. And they're so curious. And here's some turkey. Little chicks, they about grown up. This group has. Ain't they pretty? And there's old Dirty Dan. He has to check things out on the camera. Ain't he comical? And the birds out in the woods, looks like Woody got him something to eat, taking it back to his nest. I hope they do good. There's a beautiful cardinal. These birds thrive in these woods. And there's some blue jays. And there's a little downy woodpecker. On a hot day. and the turkey. They don't like his heat much, but they do what they gotta do. And you know who that is, don't you? See that one eye missing? That's old Yaller with his head right in the camera. Out making his round. And there's old Smoky. Out in these old woods during the day. Y'all had some really good names, and I thank you for mentioning them. We'll just call him Smoky. And I hope he does good, just like old Yaller has over the years. And there's old Yaller down at the acorn pile passing through. He's getting old, though. And Mr. Squirrel down at the acorns, he's always scratching through here every day. Can't pass up a nut. Now the bachelor herd happened to be in the ridge this week. They move around. They stay together in a little group, and you're liable to see them anywhere. But they happen to move into the ridge this week, a little group of them. Ain't they pretty? Look at them antlers. But they can get gone quick. And they happen to step in front of the camera on out in the woods there up on the ridge. Pretty antlers on them, ain't they? And they just half-grown antlers. Well, there's some big ones in this ridge, because I don't hunt them. And nobody else does right here either. But ain't they beautiful? Beautiful deer. They get gone quick when they seen that camera. And down at the stump, there's old Woody. I hope these little wood thrushes do good. Pretty birds. And Mr. Squirrel, he's always got him a nut up here on this stump from somewhere. And in the background, there's a little old young doe. Taking her time. And a little young buck stopped right in front of the stump. Ain't he beautiful? And down at the cut, Mr. Squirrel again. Got him some kind of nut eating on. There's a nut around, they're gonna find it. And the deer just come and go through this little crossing area. No ponds up this week on them. And there's old Smoky again. He's wearing these trails out. And there's old Dirty Dan moving up the trail. Going home, I guess. And at the rock, of course, there's Woody, the little camera hog. And there's a little robin, just doing her thing. There's a mommy deer. The old does, they're just browsing through and bring their babies through. They're curious. Of course, old Ricky, this is his home. He's always through here. He'll find something to eat on. And at the tree, there's old Dirty Dan. Sneaking through. He's so comical, buddy. But it gets too hot on him, so he's just gonna turn back towards the house. and the deer. Little doe bringing her pawns through, showing them all the little locations on the ridge. They just browse all day wherever Mom leads them. And up at the rock, they have to visit Dirty Dan's hole. She brings them through. And they're eating Dirty Dan's vegetation too, but he don't care. Ain't they pretty? Just visited. Beautiful sights of nature. But old Dirty Dan comes out after the visitors leave. He got things to do too. He's got to browse out on the patio. Take it easy on a cool rock. Take him a nap. But he's up fooling around. Something woke him up. Old Dirty Dan. I'm going to have a talk with him again. See what he's up to. He's so calm. But he's just out browsing, relaxing. But it's getting way too hot in the afternoon for him. So he's just going to turn in. And behind the rock, there's a little wren getting him some nesting material. And there's old Dirty Dan, passing through the back door. He just comes and he goes. Now that green thing you see laying there, that's a walnut. They've already started falling off the trees in these little storms and wind. There he is again early one morning. Looks rough, don't it? Old Dirty Dan. And down at the pond, deer's always down here, just browsing in these weeds and on these blackberries. And out there's a little turkey with her chicks. They're growing up, ain't they? I hope they survive. They hide away from these predators. And on the other camera, the weeds is just growing up. But they're in there. The old turkey, they in there too. But look here. I thought that was a bear right there. That's a coon. It's the daytime, hot as it is. They in them blackberries. And so is old little black bear here. That's definitely a bear. They in them blackberries. What's he gonna do when the blackberries are all gone? What's gonna sustain him here? I don't see how it is. But there you go. Come dark, yep, the old coon is coming off the den on the browse. And here's a good old picture of Billy Bob. He showed up this week. Ain't he a beautiful cat? And there's old Crooked Tail coon going through the woods. And they just come and go. Got things to be, places to be. And there's the little rascals again. The only picture I caught this week of them moving through on the trail. They are little rascals, into everything, I bet you. And the little possums, they enjoying this time of year. They like foraging for all these little bugs, these katydids and stuff. Watch them. They love them. Good eating. And they just travel this ridge like anything else, having a good time. And down at the acorn pile, old coon just passing through, just making a round. And there's old Socks. Seems like you only see Socks at night. And there's a deer herd moving through in the background. These deer just browse at night, just like they do during the day. And there's the little triplets following Mom around, middle of the night. And a fawn in the background of the stump, passing through. And at the cut at night, they use it at night just as much as they do during the day. Yeah, it looks like old Crook right there, moving through. And there's No Tail, out prowling around. Now here is a little, looks like a coyote pup. Beautiful little thing, ain't it? Young. And the deer just bash through, and fawn's following Mommy around. Life goes on here. And there's a fox, Freddy or Betty out there, going through the rock. And at the log, coon just passing through, following each other. And at the tree, there's Socks moving through. And the coons, it's so hot on them, they just, whatever they can get into, whatever's hatched out, larvae, bugs, they're not real picky. But they have a good time. And yes, the rock's just part of the routine stop every night. What's going on up here? Something new? They never know. That's why they check it out every night. But that's about all I got on this camera that night, this week. But I know it does other things. There's a possum moving through the back door. It wasn't on the front camera. That camera don't trigger it sometimes. And up on the ridge, there's a possum carrying leaves at 100 degrees. My goodness. And the old coon's moving through. But here's the bobcat, old Billy Bob, moving through up here on the ridge. And a spider going over the camera. Rare captures of the old bobcat. Now down at the pond, or the swamp, all up in with some moths down here. But they're down here. We just ain't tricking the camera. Come down, the deer are down here for sure. Browsing on all these weeds and getting what's left of them blackberries there. It's just behind the camera you're looking at here. They're all but gone. They've been wearing them out. And that little black bear's been wearing them out too, I bet you. That's why he's here. But out across the ridge, little animals at dawn, doing their thing. Here's a coyote tracking something. Early in the morning. And the little squirrels, they come out of their dens. They got a nut to find somewhere. And the other animals, a little doe here just resting at dawn. Enjoying the morning. And another day unfolds here on the ridge. Well, it's time for the squirrels. They're always in these woods all day long. But I know it gets hot on them. And they're acrobats, ain't they? But they're always foraging, always scratching. But they have a good time. But they've got to relax one way or another in this heat. Ain't that common? Well, that's just what's stepped in front of the cameras this week, guys. Tune in next week for another chapter of As the Ridge Turns. So God bless, take care, and I'll see you next time.